on, people? It's your boy, Devon Johnson. Of course, I'm joined by Chaz, and we have a special guest today. Y'all may not even remember him. You know, he was on the Instagram Live about 30 minutes ago, I'm sure. But our boy, Jay Watt, is in the house, Jonathan Watson, man. And so tonight, the Lakers do the impossible. First of all, let me turn my mic down a little bit. The Lakers do the impossible. They defeat the Denver Nuggets, who are on a 5-game win streak, and did what they had to do. Chaz, talk to me tonight. What are you thinking? How was the game for you tonight? Now, you said something last night. You said that if there was no LeBron,
I was wrong.
This was going to be okay. Well, talk to us, bro. Talk to us.
I was wrong. But it looks like I might be right in the end because I said the Lakers would go 6-2 in these final 8, and I didn't anticipate them winning this game, quite frankly, tonight because I didn't think that they would come out with the energy and the heart that they showed tonight. I hadn't seen it. Nobody's seen it for, frankly, a few months to that level and for that long. The different lows and the stretches that they had. They obviously still came up with a scoring drought in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
I don't think they scored for about 5 minutes. The Denver Nuggets went on a 14-2 run, closed in on that lead. The Lakers were up like 89-77 with like 5 minutes left to go in the game, and it came down to a couple buckets. But ultimately, I don't think AD. We missed Schroeder tonight because you had Alex Caruso trying to give AD the ball at the mid to high post, and AD just couldn't get. They just couldn't figure that out. And you saw them at the last final timeout, kind of going through it, right? And Caruso talking with AD about why I couldn't throw this pass or whatever the case may be. And you saw Gasol come in and like, hey, just take it this way, go that way. Caruso is not a natural point guard, so we definitely missed Schroeder tonight. The fact that we were able to beat this team without having two of our top 2 playmakers was actually pretty impressive. AD looked energized and energetic. KCP definitely was finding his stroke tonight. Kuz hit some big shots. THT, as Jay was saying, that he didn't play very well in certain spots. I didn't like that underhand pass that he threw that, that went out of bounds in a crucial stretch. But, he turned around and that didn't deter him. He still did another one right after that, I think in the next quarter, to Keith right down the middle of the lane. So
no fear. No fear.
But ultimately, a win is a win. I don't really care how they come. Personally, I'm of the mindset that we sit LeBron for the rest of the season. AD, get in where you fit in to find your rhythm, and let's see how many wins we could get, play our hardest, put our best foot forward, let the chips fall where they may, because either way, as long as we're not going to fall to 9 or 10. If we do get in the play-in, it's not the worst thing at the end of the day. An extra week of rest is good, but I think we kind of need that fire.
Yeah.
We need our backs against the wall just a little bit, kind of like how we felt tonight. Like if the Lakers dropped this one, it was going to be a pretty long. We already think it's going to be a pretty long media week, but it would have been a really long one, especially after also because this is a potential playoff opponent as well. If the playoffs were to start right now, the Denver Nuggets, well, actually not after this win, the Lakers actually moved up to the 5 spot. But before this win, they would have faced the Denver Nuggets. So I thought it was a good win. What say you?
Listen, man, I wasn't sure what to think. When they had the double-digit lead, I was sure that we were going to lose some of it. Didn't think it would get down to 2. I think my biggest thing was watching Gasol do what Gasol does. And there was already been some comments here. Our boy RH3LA on Periscope was saying that he needs to bench Drummond. Drummond doesn't need to be benched necessarily, but in a game like this, where you have Jokic and the matchup makes so much sense. Once again, Marc Gasol is going to match up well against a Joel Embiid, against a Jokic, against more of these elite teams, and honestly, these elite centers. Marc Gasol has the size, doesn't necessarily need to have the speed because neither one, Embiid or Jokic, are able to run up and down the floor any faster than him. So I thought tonight it was a great adjustment. It was just weird timing. That weird drought in the fourth with Gasol sitting on the bench until like the 2-minute mark was just so weird to me. I don't know if it was a conditioning issue or if Mark just can't put in those amount of minutes, and I would completely understand if he can't. But we really needed him on the floor. And the minute he got back on the floor, you saw the defensive intensity change. You even saw the spacing change. And even though we only won by 4, I think a part of that win had to do with Marc Gasol being on the floor. So Drummond's going to do what Drummond does against teams that he needs to do that against. But like nights like tonight, move him out the starting lineup, and put in Marc Gasol. Jay Watt, man, talk to me. Tell me about what you saw tonight that stuck out to you, negative and positive.
Positive is easy. It's effort. Okay. All day effort. We've been trying to figure out where's that effort. Do they still got it in here? Mm-hmm. And tonight we saw that. Caruso diving on the floor, AD's going out the block shots like the game, the shot at the end. It was effort on the defense that what got this win. This was a very low scoring game. Usually these two teams will try to run up the score, especially if this was like back in Denver because of the altitude. But Denver usually would be high octane. But tonight it was a grind, and it was well needed. My issue would be, again, Desert Storm on offense. I mean, how many times we're gonna have these droughts? It's just like another drought, and at the wrong time. I mean, like, what? I mean, y'all, do they have like this? We remember back in the day when they used to have the joke about the switch under Lawrence Tanner's table at Staples Center.
Yeah,
I think we got the anti-switch because sometimes it seems like we turn off the offense at the wrong time. I don't know what is it that they're having these droughts, and it's happening every single game now where they'll go 3 to 5 minutes without scoring, and then some of the boneheaded passes, like Caruso, like had 3 boneheaded passes to start the third quarter, and I said this to you, Devon, that's typically not him. He does, and something is up here. Something is up here, is really up here with these guys. But tonight, I'm just happy they played, and Kuzma, and they listened to Chaz and Kuzma, and they went ahead and played Gasol. And I gotta give him props for being professional, and I gotta give Wesley Matthews props for being professional, because anybody who would be on ice that long, they would just be ready. They would have checked out. Been on ice that long, they would have been basically already in Cancun. But they know they won the championship, and they just did their thing. So props to professionalism and an effort.
Here's the stat of the night. Andre Drummond in the starting lineup, a -11 in the plus-minus category. Marc Gasol with a +17. Drummond played 22 minutes. Marc Gasol played 17. And so Drummond played 22 minutes. Marc Gasol played 17. So when you watch what you saw tonight, and you saw at the end of all of this, there's one major factor that we're adding in, because obviously Caruso has come up multiple times. He's not a point guard like that. He's more of a defensive guard that plays well with another guard, mainly LeBron James, as we've already seen in the stat category. With Schroeder being out these games, Chaz has already said, let's rest LeBron. That would mean that you would either have THT or Caruso kind of being your point moving forward in these games. Is it better to let those guys run the point going forward, or would it be better to have LeBron come back a little bit earlier?
I don't see LeBron James until after May 16th. Chaz?
Yeah, I just don't think that it's absolutely needed. So, like, you just look at it from a practical perspective, like, really quick. Realistically, the Lakers are 7 games, now 8 or 7.5 games, actually, out of the 10 spot. So, like, you're not going to fall out of the play-in, and you're not really going to fall to 9 or 10 realistically with only 7 games left to go. When you're, pretty much 7 games up, that means you only got to really win one game to even just, avoid that. So practically speaking, the Lakers aren't going to fall as low as, that low. So in a 1-game crunch series, pretty much, like, all you got to do is win 1, out of 3. Pretty much. So if that's the case, then I'm taking that with a healthy LeBron and a healthy AD against any team in the NBA for 1 game.
For 1 game, yeah, for 1 game. So I completely agree.
And realistically, that's your worst case scenario if you just rest LeBron from now until not even May 16th. It's from now until, what is it? Like the play-in is going to be at least a few games. So, I mean, you might even get a full 2.5, 3 weeks if you just rest him now, on top of the 6 weeks he's already had. Now, we don't know if he re-aggravated. Like, there was like maybe some misreporting because I saw McMenamin say that he re-aggravated the injury, and then there was Bill Oram was saying that it was just sore. So we were getting kind of some conflicting reports, assuming that LeBron did not re-aggravate the injury to give him another maybe 2.5 weeks on top of what he's already had. Might be your best case scenario, especially if the Lakers can pick up wins like they did tonight here and there, which will keep them. I mean, if they win at least 3 out of the next 7, they'll even avoid the play-in as well. While you watch LeBron.
That's the truth. And I want to just get to this. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions, Shaz, because things have changed since your prediction of last night. Obviously, with Schroeder being out several games, so I'm gonna go back through these and go through the W and L. But somebody is calling you out here on the Periscope in the comments saying Prophet Chaz was ready to trade Gasol for 2 firsts to get JaVale back a few months ago. Now, mind you, a few months ago, we're talking like January. So,
hey, player. You can call me out all you want. But I still take that deal right now today. Okay? If I could trade Marc Gasol and not a first, but just Marc Gasol and maybe a second or some cash, no first. But if I could trade Gasol and get JaVale back to go with Drummond and AD, I do it in a heartbeat.
They say, "Oh no, Prophet, no."
That's
shade.
That's Esteban. I see you.
No
I'm
shade,
gonna be honest, man.
That's just the truth.
I'm gonna be honest. After watching JaVale tonight, I was like, "Oh, I'm glad we don't have him."
Yeah, he did some boneheaded stuff. He tried to throw it behind his back. It went out of bounds. My man,
he had a Shaq in a full throwback moment. That's pretty what it was.
Hey man, props to JaVale. He got his ring tonight. He is forever a part of the legacy that is the Lake Show, and I'm glad he got his ring. But I'm glad he took that L on the way out, as Mike Malone would say.
Absolutely. And if he were here right now, he would correct us all and say 3-time champion JaVale McGee, as he would always make sure he let people know. Okay, so here we go, man. As we get ready, listen, and I'm going to just kind of give a little disclaimer to the people tonight. We're not going to be long. Listen, the Lakers won. We had a long night last night of venting. I'm sure some of y'all were drinking. There was one dude in the chat who was completely high and drunk and saying some crazy stuff, and I was actually listening to him. But we're gonna go through a section of these games. We have our hated opponent coming up next, and technically it's an away game against the LA Clippers. Do you still stick with your original prediction on that, or does it change with Schroeder being
out? As far as the 6-2, I'm in the right direction.
You're in the right direction, but do we win that game?
With the Clippers specifically? Yeah. Not without Bron.
No, they don't have Kawhi.
Without Bron and Schroeder, they don't have Kawhi. I thought he was back in the lineup. He played on Saturday.
Is he back? Oh, he was? Okay, I thought he was still out.
I mean, you never know. But assuming with Kawhi and PG, I think they're just out Beverly. And assuming Schroeder and LeBron are out, could the Lakers win like they won tonight? Yes. But as long as they got Kawhi and PG, it's going to be really tough for the Lakers to win. So
I truly believe that LeBron's going to be back, considering that we have another 3 days before we get back on that court again.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But does he rest? Does he? I mean, here's the thing, man, and Jay, tell me what you think about this specifically. He described sharp pains when he planted to push off of his right foot to go left in his post game. The sharp pains that he described, I don't think that he thought could be possible given the amount of time that he was off. Like but then he actually did divulge that there's no practice time and there's only one way to really know as far as game action goes because you're not playing 5-on-5. What do you think about him describing that as sharp pains, but still playing 2-3 days later against the Clippers?
LeBron James knows his body better than anybody. And if he's going to want to play, he's going to play. If he's not going to want to play, he'll sit it down.
True.
But if he – but
should he play is the question.
That's the question.
I'm with you. I don't think he should play until the playoffs. I think if we see what we do tonight, where we might not have a high scoring offense, but we can grind out victories with our defense, which Vogel's teams are really known for in the past, like in Indiana, or even last year when sometimes we probably weren't scoring and the defense was just always efficient. I wouldn't rush it. I don't care about the Clippers winning the season series with the Clippers. I care about winning the championship, and I think LeBron does too. I mean, he's not in the MVP category. He's not in the MVP discussion right now. He's not gonna be he probably won't be first team All NBA, which would be crazy to say. LeBron, I mean, even though he was third team his first year here with the Lakers, but it's all about the long play. I think if he's good to go, I would love to see him. But I personally, if I would have somebody in his ear, maybe Jay Kidd, and I want to get you two guys' opinion on this. I've been bringing this up in the halftime with Chris Camillo. I need more for the assistant coaches. I need to hear more from Jason Kidd, from Lionel Hollins, our guy Phil Handy, Miles Simon, Mike Pemberthy. They're supposed to be Vogel's eyes and ears when he gets too caught up in the woods. And I'm wondering when they have these droughts like they're going to, what are they saying to Frank? You know, what are they seeing?
But how do we not know what they are and aren't saying? Vogel has been known to be very and extremely collaborative. So there's nothing to lead me to believe that the coaches aren't speaking up all of a sudden based off of even just watching Backstage Lakers and watching Phil Handy and Miles Simon and Mike Pemberthy and Lionel Hollins and all of them and Jay Kidd all collaborate. So, I mean, but I hear you. Hey, we don't know what they are and what they aren't saying. That's a great point.
You're right. They're all and I'm glad you brought that point up because you're right. They are Vogel, not like many head coaches is willing to listen to his assistants. And I'm just seeing because we've had too many of these scoring droughts.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out something.
I'm wondering what are those coaches? I'd love to be a fly on the wall in those coaches meetings because I know you got a Hall of Famer in Jason Kidd, a great coach in Lionel Hollins, and obviously Vogel's a good coach. I'd just be wondering what are they saying? What is the brain trust saying? I know they're probably brainstorming in ways where they have to stop these droughts from happening.
Part of it is because your entire offense is built around one man who's not on the court. But if I'm being honest, when he did come back, without having a flow and establishing with those guys, you really are just hit and miss. And every now and again, I'm going to be honest, I think the runs we go on are far more lucky. And I think that the droughts that we go through are far more predictable. Especially on a night like tonight. And if I'm being honest, I don't even know if Schroeder would have changed that drought as much. You know, he's been known to kind of go off in the fourth. He could be, sleep the entire game. And then in the fourth, he starts going to the cup. But with that said, somehow, some way, the Lakers pulled out that win tonight, and I'm gonna give you guys a random side off the side subject here. But as you guys know, there's been a couple of Vivian accounts that popped up today, and they were popping up today with the specific purpose of breaking the Vivian curse. Do you believe that the curse is broken?
Next question.
Is that a no or a yes? Hey, come on, man. You don't believe in the Vivian curse,
man? When our Slack was just on fire that day. I remember Chaz came in late because he had to be briefed on the whole situation. But when I was hearing about it, I was like, "There's no way this is real. This is not happening." But am I thinking is all here? Oh wow, really, Esteban? He spelled it in Spanish. Then he spelled it. Okay, he has both spellings. Oh no, it's the Spanish spelling. I mean, oh great. Now Adele, all we missing is Javi. He's gonna be coming in. He was king of the Vivian. He was like the lead detective of the Vivian police.
Listen, man. I think the curse is broken. Now, with that being said,
basketball guys.
I think from what I understand, from what Vogel said, they're trying not to play LeBron back to back. So it's very possible he can play against the Clippers, but then not play against Portland. Both of those can
we need that Portland game. We need
The
that Portland
game
game.
is more important to me than the Clippers because
if there's
we're already 6.5 games behind the Clippers. We're not going to catch them. But Portland is a game or maybe a game and a half behind us right now.
They are
Between the
exactly
fifth and
one
seventh
game. They would be only a half game behind us if they didn't lose tonight. But they are one full game behind us. Dallas Mavericks are a half game behind us. I didn't realize home court was that far away. 6 games, damn. And then you got the Nuggets. Nuggets still as high as 3 currently. So
you're saying
were to start today, you would have the Lakers and the Clippers in the first round.
So you're saying you would rather have LeBron in a back-to-back situation, only playing one game. You would rather have him against Portland than against the Clippers.
If there's one game for the rest of the entire season that I would want LeBron James to play in, it would be that Portland game and that Portland game only. Why? Because we don't play any of the other teams that are below us anymore.
Truth. In fact,
for the rest of the season, the only teams that we play are either above us or in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Houston is below us.
Outside of Portland.
Outside of Portland, and right now, technically, they are below us.
I mean, in terms of fighting for playoff seeding or anything like that, Houston's way out of it. We don't play. Yeah, New Orleans is out of it. They're 3.5 games out. They lost again tonight against Steph Curry, who was just amazing yet again. And we don't have anybody that's in the thick of it that we play head to head other than the Portland Trailblazers. So
all right. So Jazz, give me W or L on the Portland game.
Bron or no Bron?
Let's assume no Bron.
Yes.
Win.
That's a win.
Jay Watt, what do you say?
We gonna get it. Actually, Bron or no Bron, we gonna get the win.
We're going to get the win. Okay, Phoenix. We're going to be at home against Phoenix, and that's just a couple of days after the Portland game. So we have one travel day, and then we play the next day.
I said originally that Phoenix game was going to be a loss. I still believe it'll be a loss.
Okay, so that's going to be the one loss that we have so far in your 6-2 record. New York.
That's a win. Houston.
That's a win. Now, Schroeder is back by then. Am I correct? That's May 11th.
I don't think Schroeder's back by then.
Okay.
I think Schroeder's out for the season. I think he has COVID, to be honest.
You think he has it all together? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's no way he's out 10 to 14 days of just contact tracing with people getting vaccines and stuff. It's just not happening.
Truth. Okay. Houston, it's on a back-to-back against we're at home. It's on a back-to-back.
That's banner night. That's a win.
Got to win. Okay, we're on the road against Indiana, W or L?
On the road against Indiana?
On the road. And the time has not been determined yet, so it could be an early game. So
it's a Saturday game. We likely no. Against Indiana? Hold on. Are they in it? No, they're fighting for seeding. I'm gonna say that's a win. They're 4 games below 500.
That would mean that our next loss in a 6-2 record would be against New Orleans.
Yes.
You believe we'll lose that game?
It's the last game of the season. Rest up, you guys. We'll have the 6 of the 5 seed locked up after we beat Indiana.
Let me ask you a question. In a situation where you're playing against Zion, who do you play, Drummond or Marc Gasol?
Drummond all day. Faster feet. Yeah. Faster hands. Bigger body.
Zion's gonna get his regardless, but I still stick with Drummond.
Marc Gasol is like the only player I would probably play against. Marc Gasol is him against Zubac on the Clippers or Jokic on the Nuggets. I wouldn't play him against any other big in the Western Conference in the playoffs. Think about it. Like
that's true.
Like I'm not playing him against Nurkic. I'm just not. Maybe I could, but Portland doesn't really. They don't play Nurkic like that. Like they. Right. They're more of a perimeter team. So I'm putting Drummond out there. The Warriors definitely putting Drummond out there. I'm not, Marc Gasol is just get left on help position. And the Mavericks, it's just matchups with Gasol. So I would only rock with him, Zubac or Jokic, and he did great on Jokic. So not all is lost in the regular season. If there's anything that you showed tonight, is that Gasol can play against Jokic in a potential first round matchup series.
And that will be a fun matchup series to watch, man. Tonight, the Denver Nuggets really gave us all that we can handle. And they really didn't have much missing outside of Jamal Murray. But, of course, people like Campazzo who do all of the stuff that they were doing tonight. Michael
Who is that dude?
He is J.J. Barea's long-distance cousin, apparently. But
because he was annoying.
He was, man. But listen, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, Lakers win 93-89. Leading scorer Anthony Davis with 25 points. And then, of course, off the bench, we had THT and Marc Gasol coming in, doing what they had to do. Wesley Matthews hitting 3 shots tonight, 2 of them being threes. He was perfect 3 for 3 from the floor tonight. And then the Lakers did what they do pretty much all the time. Second in defensive efficiency. They held the 3-point shooting of the Denver Nuggets down to 25% on 6 of 24, which is tremendous given the amount of talent that they have on that team. Now, I'm going to give you guys this last question as we get ready to get out of here. Let me just address this real quick. Schroeder was mad reckless putting himself in the situation he is now. See his vlog out in NYC. That's very Kyrie Irving of you.
See, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt last night, remember? And I was just like, you don't know how guys got it. We saw what's the name? Les Snead in between vaccination appointments. He got the first shot. I just got my first shot Friday. It's like catching COVID right before that. I know. You know what I'm saying? Like
you lived it, my brother.
So so to say that he's reckless, but it's a little sticky. But that's personal.
It is. Your boy Adele said, but ain't just about matchups, Chaz. Did you not see how beautiful the ball movement was on offense?
The last time I checked, it is all about matchups in the playoffs. But ball movement is very important. But
it was beautiful, and mainly the reason why.
I feel you, Adele.
Yeah, it's mainly about rebounding and defense, which Vogel's a defensive-minded coach. As beautiful as we saw some of this passing happening tonight, which I think is great. The last few games does not matter. You have a defensive-minded coach, and if he can't keep up with bigs that run the floor, then he shouldn't be in the game. Lastly, the last question of the night as we get ready to go. Give me a grade for THT's performance tonight. 10 points. He was a +2 in the plus-minus, 4 of 7 from the field in 21 minutes.
I give him a B.
C+.
C+? C+. What keeps you from going to a B?
C. That underhand pass that went out of bounds.
You're gonna let that man live that down.
That's a good reason. That's a good reason.
Excellent.
Yeah. And to be honest, he got lucky on that last basket. He tried to reverse turn, and it just so happened to get tipped and come right back to him, and he threw it back in. Great job to have the presence of mind to not let the ball slip and to be able to put it in. But if you didn't take such a bad angle and a bad shot, and he goes a little, he had a few offensive fouls, some turnovers. Yeah, there's no what. I got a whole list of why he can't be a B. But he'll get it together, man. I got trust in the kid.
He'll get it together, man. We appreciate y'all jumping on with us tonight. Jay Watt, since you're the newest guest tonight, go ahead and give us a shout out on the things you got going on and you want the people to know. Be the plug tonight, man.
Plug.
All right. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram at jwatson0984. Of course, always Showtime. Make sure you follow Showtime on Instagram. Check me out every halftime on the Showtime forum, Instagram Live. Myself, Chris Camillo. We're doing a halftime show. Now that the boys are back doing their thing, well missed, glad to see y'all, and just keep following Showtime Forum. We're back stronger than ever. I'll be live tweeting on the mic on Thursday during Lakers Clippers. So make sure you're following Showtime Forum on Twitter at Showtime_Forum.
Excellent, Chaz. Go ahead and do your plug, buddy. Let us know what's going on. Or did Chaz freeze?
I think he froze.
Oh, you got.
There you go.
I'm here. Y'all got me?
Give us your shout out, man. Give us the plugs.
Y'all know where to find me. Yeah, y'all know where to find me on Twitter at Chaz Pearson, on Instagram at Chaz P. Somebody asked what was Kuz's grade. Kuz got a solid C. Wasn't great. Wasn't terrible. Also, pick up your merch. Adele Del Toro. Can't beat LA, homegrown LA. That's my dog. Jay Watt, my dog. Devon, my dog. Whole Showtime crew. Follow us. We coming back. We're coming back with a vengeance.
Army is here.
But we coming back and just in time for the playoffs, for this playoff push. And it's gonna be something special. Either way we slice it, we down bad. We was down bad last night, y'all. Like
yeah.
So it feels good. It feels good to get a win. I still think we can pull a rabbit out of the hat and pretty much be the surprise story because nobody thought that we were gonna probably win this game tonight. That's for sure.
Nobody.
I watched all this. I told everybody to stay off ESPN, but I hopped my butt on ESPN all day while I was working. So
I was watching. Me too. I was watching First Take at work. I heard everybody's all panicking. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. And I was panicking too, and I still am low-key kind of panicked. I am still low-key kind of panicked. Just this win don't mean everything. LeBron still got a rest. And here's the last thing I'll say: he's not injured no more because he took 6 weeks off, but that man is still hurt, and that's something you got to manage, especially with a ring on the line.
All the way through. And my plug is going to be this very simple as we get out of here. Check us out on Twitter Spaces. We're doing some great conversation. One conversation we are going to have tomorrow is going to be why was AD barking at Kuz at the end of the game? I can't wait to find out. I'm going to do some investigating tonight and get in my Vivian mode and try to figure out who got the real news on that.
I don't think he was. I think he was just talking mess because he was feeling good about that last shot that he hit. But
we're going to find out. But we're going to just create drama.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, we appreciate y'all. We getting out of here, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. See y'all Thursday night. Let's get another W, y'all. Laker family for life. Showtime.
You know what it is.